G'day people, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I put pockets inside of my shopping bag so that I can carry both my cell phone or mobile phone and a bit of change or my keys without losing them in the bottom of my bag. You'll notice that the ankle on my machine is in the up position at the moment, and when I try and do anything with the lever at the back that lifts the foot, nothing happens. I need to have the foot, the ankle here, electronically in the down position, and then I get control over it. I'm going to put on my E foot, which is my zipper foot, and to do this, I raise the ankle and just drop it on the bar. I've got a 6-inch or 5-inch zipper, which means it has a 6.5-inch tape, and I want to sew a piece of fabric, in this case the same length. I often do these with zippers that are much longer than I need, because it's perfectly possible to sew through zipper teeth, but in this case I'm going to try and do it without that. And on the zipper there is sort of markings in the weave, which gives you some things that you can aim to line up on. So that's what I'm doing, lining up on one of those lines. Put my foot down and the needle down. Now I'm aiming to keep the side of the foot against the edge of the fabric, and similarly to keep the edge of the fabric on the right place on the zipper. This is my other half. It's the same width, and I'm just going to put it in there and stitch along. Now, if you can't get past this, you may have to shut the zipper and till you get close to the end. Hopefully I can get past it. And that's the value of the particularly narrow feet. They don't tend to get as much in the way as the bigger ones. There's my zipper in my pocket. My two pieces of fabric were both the same width as the zipper tape was long. One of them was about 1.5 inches, 2 inches shorter than the other one. And that meant that after I put the zip in, I laid the two pieces of fabric together and stitched around the 3 edges. I did the bottom edge first. I didn't try and turn corners. I actually stitched the whole way across and then down each side, but with a fairly small seam allowance, because I don't want to get myself too close to those metal bits on the zip. Now, people often think that to turn this in the right way and get a nice corner, the idea is to chop off the corner. Got my finger inside. Fold the fabric one way on that seam, and then fold it the other way on the seam, and hold that little bundle of stuff that I've just folded together, and then turn it in the other way. And there's my corner. I haven't cut anything off in there, which might weaken the join at the seam, but it's quite a good square corner. I generally put my thumb inside and fold onto my thumb. So I'm folding on one seam, folding on the other seam, and holding that little bundle that I've just made in between my thumb and finger. When I turn it in the right way, it's a nice square corner. In the top corners, there's only one seam, so I only have to fold that in one direction. The trouble is you need to have a finger, the head, to hold it. When you do that, it'll pop out a nice little corner. If it hasn't quite come all the way out, grab a pin and just pull the very tip of it out. It's usually fairly easy. And it's ready for me to just sew, like any normal pocket that opens at the top, into my bag lining. It's usually the way I would do this is to use a zip that is much longer than the pocket and cut off the ends. So I'm in no danger whatever of sewing through that metal end there or those metal ends there. In this particular case, the zip was about the right length, so I needed to make sure I left myself enough space there. And I'm probably going to use my zipper foot again going around, because I really need to do something that's going to be able to miss that as I'm sewing. I pressed my pocket and then I pinned it to the center of what will be my bag lining, and not too far down from the top edge, because if you have a look in your bags, pockets are never terribly far from the top edge. Also, you'll notice that I'm using quite light fabric for the lining of my bag, and that is because it's much easier to find things in the depths of a bag that's bright rather than one that's black. I'm going to start here, needle down, foot down. I'm going to sew backwards a few till I get to the edge. Now my aim at the moment is to keep, and I'm not quite right at the moment, but is to keep the edge of the foot at the edge of this pocket that I've pinned to my lining. Depending how close I've got this to the edge, I might need to wiggle a little bit to make sure I don't hit that metal, because if I hit the metal, I will very definitely break a needle. The needle is actually inside the foot, so as long as I can keep the foot at the edge of the needle of the metal, I should be okay. I want to do 2 rows of stitching around this pocket, so I'm going to go back this way now. And now I'm not worrying at all about the needle. I'm worrying about the foot. I'm keeping the foot right on the edge of the fabric. And it's got stuck there because there's very little connection between the foot and the feed dogs. There's not a lot of connection anyway because it's a zipper foot. Now, there are a couple of ways that I can solve this problem. I can give it a tug, but there's a risk with that I might bend the needle back and have it hit the needle plate. Or I can try and build up something behind it. And that's what I think I'll do. So I'm going to lift the foot and put this behind it. And hopefully that will give it a little bit more, a little bit more connection. It's only a little thing. It's only the little screwdriver, but it managed to give me a little bit better connection. And that happened to be the thing that I had available nice and close, and it happened to be thick enough. So I'll try it again here and we'll see how we go. I can put it, and pretty much what I want it to do is just give the machine, I can't actually really move that under there, so it is connecting between the foot and the feed dog, so it should actually do the right thing for me. And it has. So it's just giving me a little bit of extra connection between the foot and the feed dogs, which I didn't have while they were hanging off the end of this fabric. Whoops. Now this one's got a bit more of a lump in it here. That's okay. Just that little tiny bit was enough to make it work. Now this isn't going to be the most beautiful pocket in the world. But it's going to be inside a bag, so anyone who's looking at it that closely is being a bit picky. And I would much rather that new sewers learned not to be picky, that what you're doing is probably better than most things you'd buy. There's my pocket. Zip here. I can put some money or keys in there, and space for my phone. All of which means it's very, very practical. I haven't made the bag yet, but I've got the pocket done on the lining, and that's one of the bits that I dislike doing. So it makes the rest of the bag easier to make. See you next time.